Zeltparker here, and today I want to talk about somebody that everybody knows a little bit. Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka R. Kelly. My facts over this situation are a bit scattered with the timeline, but all the facts will be here that I can give, and even opinions or allegations. I'm going to include as much as I can. So the reason a lot of my facts are out of order is because I read from so many different articles and each had their points. So I wrote the focus points down and then focused on that, and then it's separate pages I went through, like here's all the facts on this page and then here's all the facts from this article on this page. Now R. Kelly's known for a lot of things, but his biggest thing back in the day was music. When I grew up, R. Kelly was heard about a lot. Unfortunately, he wasn't heard for just his music. He had several allegations against him. So today I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with him, because he's popping up everywhere. He's in memes, he's on social media, he's in interviews online. He's everywhere right now because of his history. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Kelly was born somewhere in Chicago with 3 siblings and a single mother. The reason I bring up his siblings is because I feel like they play a big part in this whole epidemic, if you could say. So I've spent most of my day determining what I can about R. Kelly based on all the research you can find online and through prior records. In 2000, a reporter named Jim DeRogatis wrote the first sexual abuse article on R. Kelly. The article focused on Tiffany Hopkins, who is someone who claims that she was with R. Kelly in 91 to 94. In 2013, the reporter Jim received anonymous video files of Kelly and some underage girls. In 2013, Jim stated that he had interviewed nearly 24 women, all claiming that R. Kelly had sexually abused them. So really, this just goes to show you how many people are focusing on R. Kelly because of all his history. Before all this, Kelly met a young girl named Aaliyah Haunton. When Kelly met her, she was only 12 years old. Within 2 years, they would be recording music together. In 1994, Kelly married Aaliyah while falsifying her age on the marriage certificate. Kelly denies that he knew Aaliyah's age, but he released a documentary in 1994 that states he knows her age, which I will add that video clip into this video. In their time making music...
Right now I'm producing a very talented young lady. She's 14, Aaliyah. She's real street. She just be chilling,
Making music together, Kelly and her also made a song called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Nearly a year later, they had an annulment in February 1995. The two of them both claimed they were really good friends, and R. Kelly said they were best friends. She later died in a plane crash at the age of 22 in 2001. Nowadays, Kelly refuses to speak on the marriage in respect for her parents. Kelly's 3 siblings are Carrie, Bruce, and Teresa. Joanne Kelly was their mother, who died of cancer in 1993. I believe one time I saw a whole interview on Kelly discussing his relationship with his mother and how much he loved her, and I believe he even asked her to be his girlfriend at one point. That's how close they were. I mean, he was a kid, but that's just how it felt. So I feel like his mother's death probably had a big impact on his personality. His brother Kerry hasn't done many public events, but he came forward in an interview to discuss him and Kelly being molested by their sister Teresa. I'll also
She just took my head and put it down by her private part, and she told me to lick her private parts. So of course I didn't know what I was doing.
At 6 years old.
6 years old, and she was like, stick your tongue out, lick it hard, lick it fast.
She's giving you
instructions, and she started giving me oral sex with her mouth. So she turned around and laid me down, and she sat on me, and she took her hand and she grabbed my private part, and she put it in.
I believe that his sister doing this to them probably created some sort of sexual issues for him that possibly have been blowing this far in life. On January 3rd, 2019, there was a limited series release called Surviving R. Kelly, where people associated with him, people who are accusing him and his family even, they all discuss about R. Kelly and the accusations on him. I chose not to watch the series because I've spent so much time doing the research, and everything that's in the show I've pretty much found within articles or clips and everything. I've summed it down. Kelly was married to a woman named Andrea, who he had 3 children with. As of today, Kelly's currently blaming Andrea for a lot of his money problems involving child support and such. She states that they were also together while she was underage. He was arrested on February 25th, 2019 because he owed her $160,000 in child support. Kelly claims he isn't actually worth $100 million and says that all his money had been taken from him. People had been stealing his money. He said he hadn't been to the bank himself in years until recently, when he wanted the money for the child support. When he finally went to the bank, he opened a new account, and it said it would take him 6 or 7 days for it to process, and in that time, he was arrested. A lot of females have stated that he doesn't have the money because he paid it all, or used it as hush money. He was paying people that he was having sex with to, keep it on the low. Kelly, of course, denies this and says that Andrea is not telling the truth. She's accused him of hog-tying her in the past, but he also denies that. Kelly says he loves his kids and his kids love him, which is true, but his daughter also posted that they haven't had a relationship with each other in years, or any of the siblings. Currently, Kelly is in a relationship with 2 women that are living with him, Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Clary. Before I continue on talking about Jocelyn and them, I'm going to talk more about some of his prior arrests. He was arrested in 2008, but found not guilty on 14 child porn accusations. Actually, he wasn't found not guilty, he was found acquitted, which there is a difference. I will try to display it on the screen now. In 2012, on Soul Coaster, Kelly actually discussed his abuse that he received from ages 7 to 15. He stated that it was every other day or week, at least. In his brother's interview, Carrie, he stated that it had gone on for at least 6 years. Personally, I find that the family has a lot of bad with their name, not just because of R. Kelly, but the entire family. One example would be Carrie's sons. They robbed a barber shop, apparently, and then they tried to blame it on them being related to R. Kelly. So that shows that R. Kelly's had a lot of bad things associated with his name, even that way. And it just feels like that could build onto the person he's become. So on February 25th, Kelly had a bond of $1 million for his child support charge. His attorney was Steven Greensburg. They let him out on the restriction that he was unable to talk to any females under 18. The same day, attorney Michael Aventi tweeted that he had more sexual tapes that would prove Kelly was guilty, and they'd be releasing them soon. In April of 2017, Kelly was being sued by Kenny Bryant, the deputy at the Mississippi Hinds County Sheriff Department. He was suing him for grievous mental and emotional distress and a financial run. What that basically means is that Kelly was sleeping with this guy's wife, and they even talked about it a bit. He was sleeping with her 4 months before they were together, and then it continued, and she would constantly disappear anytime he had a show nearby and such. That's just kind of to give more of what kind of person Kelly was believed to be. The same year, he was accused of running a cult in Georgia's Johns Creek in North Fulton County. This was thought because the reporter Jim received in July from a source that there was physical and emotional abuse and a cult going on inside the house R. Kelly was living in. So it was 1996 when Kelly was 29 that he was sued by Tiffany Hawkins for emotional distress. Hawkins and Kelly had met in 1991 when she was 15 and he was 21. Their legal case ended in 1998 when Hawkins got $250,000 from him. He was sued by a woman named Tracy Sampson in 2001 for inducing her into an indecent sexual relationship at 17. She said they were treated like sex objects and casted it away. Their case settled for an undisclosed amount sum. This guy's really good at getting sued because in 2002 he was sued by Patrice Jones. She claimed he impregnated her underage, which led to her having an abortion. And the same year, Montina Woods sued because he recorded them having sex without her knowledge. Both cases were closed because an undisclosed amount sum was given for a non-disclosure agreement. Next, he got 21 counts of making child porn, such as intercourse, oral, urination, other. All these charges were from one girl born in 1984. He posted his $750,000 bail and pleaded not guilty. It was later lost because they weren't able to prove the girl on tape was a minor at the time. So between 2002 and 2004, there were 12 more counts of making more child porn. Police even seized the camera, but charges dropped for insufficient evidence somehow. So it was BuzzFeed in 2017 that publicly accused him, Kelly, of having 6 women trapped in his cult. They stated the obvious about him seducing women with their music career. It was said he would dictate what they ate and wore when they slept and when they had sex. He said, or somebody had stated that he would make them watch each other and record it for them. Parents were saying their daughters had vanished and everything, but they had just been with him. So one of the victims in 2018 named Jerhonda Pace, she broke her NDA she signed and started talking about the abuse she allegedly went through. Another victim named Kitty Jones said that she had been starved away and coerced into sex by him. And then in 2018, hashtag Mute R. Kelly started so that they would silence him and stop him from being able to work for RCA, his record label. Even though they did that, though, when Surviving R. Kelly came out, all his streaming downloads increased. So at this point, a lot of people have bad feelings about R. Kelly. Even John Legend himself. I believe he may have been in the show. I know he tweeted about it. So R. Kelly had turned himself in when all this happened. He did spend some time in jail, but he had a friend pay off his bond. Now, I know a lot of information about the friend, like I looked into her, and I'll talk about her in a minute. I got some screenshots and everything. She ran a daycare and stuff. I thought that was kind of suspicious. She got her money. She got $1.1 million because her daughter died, and she got the money there. So she had been given, I think she'd spent $100,000 in total to bail him out over time with 4 different cases that happened. So an attorney named Fox confirmed that there were 4 anonymous victims between 1998 and 2010. So he was charged with 10 counts of sexual assault or abuse at the time. Latricia Scaff and Rochelle Washington are also 2 victims who are working with Avanet, the attorney. Kelly's been staying in the Trump Towers, and he apparently owes them $170K in back rent. So a lot of people were questioning why he was able to live there, but couldn't afford to pay for stuff. And apparently that's why, because he owes them so much money already. I'm not sure exactly what, but somehow they had everyone evacuate the building so they could go in there. And he had 70 violations, and he had apparently converted his studio into an illegal living quarter. Now, the suspicious part about the living quarter is because Kitty Jones and others that were involved in that, they said they were trained in what they referred to as a sex dungeon, how to cater to him, while he was calling them pets. A woman that worked with Kelly named Lavelle Jones admitted that Kelly had asked her to find women for him that were younger. He had said the younger the better. And after that, 4 more employers had came out with more stories similar to that. So at this point, he had got kidnapping charges too, but they were just because the women that didn't want to come home. Not saying he didn't kidnap them, but that was the case of why he was charged. So in Surviving R. Kelly, they talked to his brother Bruce Kelly, who's in prison. He was there on theft, burglary, possession of controlled substances, outstanding arrest warrants, criminal trespasses, and retail theft. So when they asked Bruce about it, he had said, everyone has their own fetishes. I like older women. R. Kelly likes younger women. What's it matter? So back to the 2 women that are living with him. Their parents say they're brainwashed and that he's controlling them. But the 2 girls both say that their parents were just trying to blackmail Kelly. So Savage's father, Tim, claims to have never met Kelly before, but R. Kelly says he had asked him to take Jocelyn on stage in front of everybody. Both of their parents denied the blackmail, though. Both of these girls claim that they're absolutely in love with Kelly, but Clary, she wouldn't discuss anything about their sexual relationship, nor should she really have to if she doesn't want to. So the Clary girl, she claims that she didn't want to do singing, and her parents were trying to force it onto her, so she attempted suicide because of that. But her medical records showed that it was to do with boyfriend issues at the time. She was basically denying that she ever wanted to sing, and that was her reason for meeting R. Kelly. At a King interview that was done, Savage and Clary were coughing loudly and trying to discreetly stop the interview, apparently. So now that I've stated a lot of the facts, I'm going to get more into my opinion about it. I've been hearing R. Kelly's name since I was a child about the same situations. So the way I look at it, if somebody's been doing these kinds of things or being accused of them for 30 years, it's not just because they're an easy target. It's because they're a guilty target. I don't know what goes on behind their closed doors and what kind of person he is, but I know what manipulation's like. People, it is very easy to be manipulated. It's very easy to manipulate people. And sometimes you don't know it. You think you're doing what you want to, but somebody's controlling your actions, per se. Or, even in the case of R. Kelly and all these girls, he could have them so in love with them that they're afraid to do anything against him, even when they know they shouldn't, be his slaves or stop seeing their family for them. So I'm definitely going to play a couple interviews at the end here. One is going to be with him and Gail. I don't know what her whole name is, maybe Gail King. If you really watch the way Kelly carries himself in this, you can see he knows what he's doing. Like, he tries to make it look like some emotional outburst, but I feel like it's more scripted in his head. A manipulative person knows what to say to get people to think they feel a certain way. So if he wants people to feel like he's hurt about this situation, he's bothered because it's not true, he wants to look like the victim, he's going to act like a victim and get angry and upset. Whether he's physically abusive or not, he probably definitely uses emotional abuse against people. And that, you can see that clear in the interview. He does emotional abuse. He plays with people's feelings. Because a lot of this information came from the internet, I'd take everything with a grain of salt, but you could look up the facts for yourself, or a lot of the accusations, I should say. He even states himself in the interview that his career is going to be fine, but not his life. He talks about how he gave us 30 years of his life and everything, but I won't continue any more about it. I do think he's guilty. That's me personally. I don't think you can go 30 years getting accused of the same thing and not be actually guilty of it, especially when it's something new every time. Like, okay, here's a different story of all these girls that don't know each other. They're talking about it. But R. Kelly also states what he feels about that and why he thinks that. But I will let you get to the interview. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe for more. Nothing but only for...
Surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies. I'm just tired.
What are the lies that you're hearing that disturb you most?
Oh my God. All of them. Got little girls trapped in the basement, helicopters over my house, trying to rescue someone that doesn't need rescuing because they're not in my house, handcuffing people, starving people. I have a harem, a cult. I don't even really know what a cult is, but I know I don't have one,
Use them.
Yeah.
Are you saying everybody in that documentary was not telling the truth about you? Everybody?
If you really look at that documentary, which I'm sure you have,
I have.
Everybody said something bad about me. Nobody said nothing good. They was describing Lucifer. I'm not Lucifer. I'm a man. I make mistakes, but I'm not a devil. And by no means am I a monster.
You're saying everything they said in that documentary about you is not true.
They are lying on me.
Why would these women say the same thing about you? That you are controlling, that you are abusive, that you tell women when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when they can sleep, where they can dress. Why would all these women tell these different stories about you if they were not true? And they don't know each other.
You can start a rumor on a guy like me or a celebrity just like that. All you have to do is push a button on your phone and say,
so-and-so did this to me. R. Kelly did this to me. And if you any girl that I had a relationship in the past that it just didn't work out, she can come and say the same exact thing.
Are you blaming this on social media?
I'm talking about the power of social media.
Have you ever had sex
No.
with anyone under the age of 17?
No.
I have to tell you, it's so hard to believe that based on all that we've read.
I'm gonna tell you something, Gail. There's one
I'm
I'm gonna tell you
What the women said about you.
What women said about me. What women. So nobody's allowed to be mad at me and be scorned and lie on me.
Mm-hmm. So they're lying on you. That's your explanation. They're lying on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You feel that people have maligned your character?
I have been assassinated.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
How stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way, way past, to hold somebody, let alone 4, 5, 6, 50, you said. How stupid would I be to do that?
I didn't say you were holding.
That's stupid, guys.
I didn't.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to, love me if you want, but just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
Robert,
stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Robert.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to believe it.
At this point, we briefly pause the interview to give Kelly a moment. His publicist helped calm him down.
I hope this camera keep going.
No, we're going to let the camera keep rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense. Why would I hold all these women? Their mothers and fathers told me, we're going to destroy your career.
But Kelly's emotions remained raw.
It's real girls out there missing. It's real young girls out there being abducted, being raped, okay? They really are on chains. They really do have chains on their wrists, and they can't get out.
Robert,
and they're ending up buried.
Okay, but
I need help.
What kind of help?
This is the kind of help I need.
Yes, what kind of help?
I need somebody to help me not have a big heart, because my heart is so big. People betray me, and I keep forgiving them. You
sound like you're playing the victim here. You sound like R. Kelly. You do. When I listen to you, it does sound like you're playing the victim
I'm just telling the truth. And the reason I'm emotional,
but Robert,
and I apologize for that, is because this is the first time I was able to say
speak.
something. Yeah. I've said nothing.